Right. Well, Richie,
And
what about you?
recording has started. Not too bad, Tats. Thanks for getting together. It's been a long time. We've been in the same room together.
Thanks for having me on the young show.
The Keepie Uppies are keeping up.
You're sounding a lot better this time.
I'm plugged in.
You're
I'm
plugged in.
I'm using a different set of earphones.
Right.
That's the reality. The technology's still getting the best of us, isn't it?
That's it. So here, all the talk this week has been about Bojo, but never mind Bojo. What about Richey Magee, new chairman of Oxford Sunnyside Football Club? How does it feel?
Yeah. It's great. It's great. It comes with notoriety, but again, it's a natural progression, I think. I've been involved in the club for a long, long time, so happy to take up the role, but just playing my part in making the club, helping the club moved forward. So, yeah, proud, but also full of gratitude for the people that went before me. So Billy Ganley stepped down. Our Brian, as secretary, has taken a backward step, but these guys built the foundations of the club, Say Billy, part of the rebirth 1992 of Sunnyside, and then helped steer the club into amalgamation with Oxford United. So the Oxford Sunnyside we know now, was born out of the hard work and dedication from them guys. So them torchbearers have need celebrated, and I am happy to take the torch, me with a lot of hard working people in the background on the new committee, with a sense of new generation and energy to keep the club moving forward, on all fronts. So yeah, excited, more so than probably is the biggest emotion that I have at the minute. So excited for the future and grateful for all the hard work that's went on to date.
And can you give Paddy McCrory assurances that he'll still be Oxford manager next season?
Absolutely. He one of the twin towers from back in the day. No, I'm very much. So
you're giving him the vote of confidence then?
Well, we'll call it the vote of confidence. I've got his back. Paddy's doing great things for the club, at senior level.
Yeah.
He's the right man for the job, put it that way, and long may it continue. He had a great season last season, despite losing out narrowly in the Marshall Cup, but we're fighting on all fronts, and the Irish Cup game was a great day out, and we've got a flavour for that, so hopefully we can look forward to more days out, similar to Windsor Park.
That's it, exciting times ahead. You just need to look at Ballinacash, the rise of Ballinacash Rangers the last couple of seasons. So, if anything, they should be inspiring team. So,
absolutely, to take their lead. Look what they have done. Look what they've got around them. If you can't see that that's the successful formula, you're a fool. So, you take lead from clubs like that have taken the next leap, and it's not beyond possibilities. With Oxford Sunnyside, we have the ground, we have the infrastructure. It's just about getting. Keep taking that forward step, wee bit of bravery, wee bit of commitment, and, the world's our oyster.
That's it. And what about the Marshall Cup? I wasn't at the game, but
Cup finals are never spectacular, it'll be the result that everybody will remember, but it was by no means a showcase. Fivemiletown came away with a victory, they played to not lose the game, let's say that, and Oxford tried with their might to score goals, and unfortunately were caught two different occasions on the break, and Fivemiletown came away with the silverware. Obviously they were disappointed the week previous, but it just wasn't to be. Oxford's night is the reality. They had a lot of opportunities in the first half, and then, as I say, I just couldn't break down that low line backline of Fivemiletown. They played very deep, and again, the two goals coming from playing deep and catching us on the break as we pushed for the goals, but just wasn't to be. But again, it's one of them things where the clubs now, we're making cup finals, we're getting there. There's just that next step, that next leap. It's all progress.
Well, that's it, and well done to Fivemiletown, I suppose, as well. they obviously lost the week before, so it must have been difficult trying to pick themselves up. But
Yeah, in fairness to
yeah,
them, they brought a travelling support. They
yeah,
had been disappointed the week before, but they rallied their troops and know they came out the successors. So congratulations to them. And again, they're going to be another hotly contested games in the league this year at Intermediate A. It's teams like that we're going to go toe to toe with, and hopefully come out the better. So with Ballymacash being promoted, it keeps it competitive at the top of Intermediate A. So I'm hoping that next season we'll be in the mix.
yeah. It'll be interesting because you've got Crew there. They'll be big favourites. Bourneview had a brilliant season. Ourselves, like we talked about, in 5Miletown, that could galvanise them. And Windmill Stars, of course, won the Premier Cup. So
Absolutely. And
they'll be buoyed from that.
Banbridge Rangers
Yeah,
had a good run of form towards the end of the season, come strong, and again all big clubs with big ambitions.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be an exciting season.
Mm-hmm.
As I say, the excitement's building on and off the field, just for the potential for the club. For the future's bright. The future's white with a trim of red.
I still think it's red and white, but anyway, we won't get on to that. I think we've talked about that too much. But what about the Irish Cup then? We'll leave Oxford Sunnyside out of it here. Yes, they've got Seagull, which will be a tough game, but the interesting one there was the Battle of the Celtics, Donegal Celtic versus Belfast Celtic. That'll be a tasty wee affair.
Yeah, absolutely. These bring out some great ties and some great days out for the clubs before they get hitting the ground with the big boys. So, a lot of great games like that coming up. As I say, it's amazing how, obviously Oxford's season went on really long, but there seems to be, you can't draw a breath and we're back at it again.
Yeah.
13th of August it'll all kick off again. So, exciting.
Yeah.
So the Irish Cup, them journeys for all clubs, they can bring some fantastic memories. And as I say, I haven't had a taste of it last year, making it with the big guns. You wouldn't fault anybody for wanting to kick on and get another taste of it,
Yeah, that's it. And I can remember back in the day whenever we started off with the Irish Cup, and fair enough, maybe we didn't have the same aspirations as maybe Paddy would have now. Yeah, they're not going to win the Irish Cup, but they want to try and get as far as they can. I suppose back then when we were in it, it was just being involved in the competition was, I suppose, a success in itself. Back then, some great days out and travels up in the bus. And I remember, I don't think it was in the Irish Cup. I think it might have been the Intermediate Cup. But do you remember travelling up to Dungiven? And
yes,
that was Owen Quigg's team. Do you remember Owen Quigg in the X Factor?
Right, yeah.
And there was rumours going about that Owen Quigg was going to be starting for Dungiven, but he never did. I don't even know if he played football, to be honest with you. But I just remember the crack on the way up. We got hammered, but
we did.
We had good days. We had a few beers in the home.
That's always banter. But that's the thing. You're sort of rubbing shoulders with teams you'd never ever encounter. In your normal season. So it's nice. It's always nice to rub shoulders. And to say that Linfield game for Oxford Sunnyside, it gives you a flavour for, I think I'd like to be back here, I belong here type of thing, a sense of belonging. So, let's hope our own club, mirrors that success of last season. But again, the journey's starting for other clubs too, and let's see where it goes.
Hope it is. So. And what about, we'll have to touch on the Northern Ireland ladies. I know they got beat last night, but it ended up being 4-1. I know we were kind of chatting about it, and I kind of predicted 6 or 7 the way the game was going. It did actually look that way, but it just shows you, first tournament, I suppose, we can't really expect them to be going far in the competition. It was probably a success in itself, actually scoring, the first goal in our first major tournament, and it was great. I don't know if you've seen it, it was a great header.
Julie Nelson, was it the goal scorer?
Yeah,
making history. It's great to see they've come a long way in such a short time. And again, that investment in girls' football is starting to bear fruit. So, the future's bright at international level for the girls, particularly football in Europe. I spoke to you about this last night. America seemed to hold all the cards for years. 20 years ago, ladies football in America was a massive sport, and it seems like Europe is sort of starting to catch up, and particularly this part of the country, this part of Europe. So interesting, and again, the crowd numbers are going up, the investment financially is going up, so great to see. And last night's result aside, it's a great achievement for the very young girls that are playing there. Some under 17, under 19 players playing at senior level and competing against the best in Europe. So fantastic.
Yeah, it was always going to be a tough match. Norway, I think, have competed in the European Championships. They've had the most appearances in the European Championships, for the ladies.
Yeah.
So they've so much experience, and that was Northern Ireland's first major tournament. So I think that, as much as I was listening to Kenny Shields after the game, he was disappointed with the result. He was trying to hammer home, like, there's a massive gap here. We're probably 10 plus years away from being where maybe we want to be, but they're making huge strides. And just even when you look at more than anybody else, the ladies, the number of teams now, when you think of young Julie Henderson that you managed, she had to play in the boys' team. She didn't have any other option, which back then you never thought anything of it. It was just part of the norm. If a girl wanted to play football, well, they had to play with the boys, but now looking back, it does seem a bit ridiculous, but it's great that infrastructure is in place, and it'll only get bigger and stronger, I suppose, as the years go on.
No, 100%. As Julie said, she didn't have that platform as a girl growing up, and had to muscle it with the boys. But now the opportunity and the platform for the girls is vast. As I say, that investment has really laid it out there. The numbers of participants in the girls' sport, it's boomed. It has really, really boomed. I run after the girls' academy, and all the teams, all the local teams and beyond, every team has girls teams now from under 9 right through to senior level.
It's fantastic.
And it's fantastic to see. And again, such a big leap in such a short time. So the will and the want's there for it, and it'll only hold the international level in good stead. The very, very young women playing at senior level now. So the future is, I can't stress it enough, the future is bright. And the game, it's going from strength to strength because of that investment, and kind of getting away from football's a boys' sport. The girls have shown that it's their sport too.
Yeah, and it's great, and you'll probably know yourself, just with having a young daughter, it's and kind of thinking ahead. Well, Lily, I know she's only 2, but I'm trying to get her practicing her left foot, because my left foot is absolutely, as you know, is absolutely terrible. But it's even just good just for social skills, meeting
100%.
people, because I can just look at the Keepie Uppies that we've done. You're interviewing Mark McCann, who you played in the same team as the Mid-Ulster select or whatever, way back when you were in your teenage years, when you had her.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about Whitey Anderson from the Foyle Cup, and some of my best memories. I can't remember what Burley did last week, but the Foyle Cup always sticks out from whenever I was 14. So it's great for girls, probably especially for girls, so they can, have those memories and get away from, just, you worry sometimes about social media and tweeting and Instagram culture and all this here. They just need to go out, play football, make friends, and create memories, as you all said.
Exactly that. You're creating memories, and I talked about it. I think it was Andy previously, but you're not just making footballers. You're giving them life skills, as they've already touched upon there. Working as a team, working on your own individual disciplines, and resilience and respect and all that stuff all comes hand in hand. So the platform there for them to progress to whatever level they want as footballers, but ultimately making good people and doing it and making friends along the way. As I say, we can reference our 30 years ago in 1992 I was playing for Sunnyside. 30 years later I'm now chairman of the club, because there's an invested interest there. There's a bond that's been created from many moons ago, and now I have no her at all.
Well, you've a wee bit.
I have a wee bit, but I'm that bond was made, that friendship, that love for the club was created, and I have had a social life from it, and made a lot of good friends. So long may it continue. But yeah, absolutely, for the girls, it's a massive thing. It's a massive thing, and again, they're doing the same thing on the Gaelic front. The GAA, they're doing the very same thing. The sport's going from strength to strength, and they're standalone and succeeding. So Great to see. Great to see.
That's it. We're coming towards the end here of our very first Keepie Uppies extra time. But last thing, what about there's loads more we could cover, but what about Sterling joining Chelsea? I've two
Yeah.
questions for you here. One, were you surprised? And two, do you see Raheem Sterling as world class?
Was I surprised? Surprised that not surprised he went back to London. From memory, I think he was QPR
That's right, yeah. And we
originally
think,
before he went to Liverpool. So a London boy going back to London. Surprised that he's going at that age. I mean, he's in the peak of his powers. I've heard that been referenced on Sky Sports. He's at the peak of his powers. He scores goals for fun. But City obviously believe they have a wealth of ability and that he's not good enough to get into their team. So City are a world-class team. Raheem Sterling going to Chelsea. Chelsea at the minute, I know only recently, a few years ago won the Champions League. Are they a world-class team? I would say no. So I think he's below world class, but he's playing at Chelsea, who, again, they're in a rebuilding mission, aren't they? Really? So it's definitely a sidewards and one step back kind of move for him. If he's world class, I think his move from Man City maybe would have took him to the old Galacticos or something like that, which would be seen sort of be on a parallel, or some might still believe Barcelona and Madrid are the teams to go to. But I think taking a sidewards and a backward step to Chelsea is a sort of reflection that he's not world class. And being English is also, because he's English, he probably gets, he gets beefed up. The English media will let you believe they're all world class until they make a mistake and then they're all useless, so.
I don't know, I was just looking at his stats for City, goals and assists, and it's outstanding. But
Yeah.
I just don't see him in, and I don't know why it is. But I just don't see him in that world class bracket. Maybe he might move into that world class bracket, but I can't get my head around maybe why. When his figures are so good,
Yeah.
There are sometimes he goes and run of games where he does look great and he's scoring goals and assisting and whatever and having a big impact. But then he seems to go through 6 or 7 games where he doesn't score any goals, so he can be sometimes a wee bit inconsistent. But
I think playing at Man City is part of the issue. He'll play left side, he'll play right side, he'll play through the middle, he'll play as a false nine. Yourself when you're playing, it's about consistency and building building rhythm, as the reference our Lord and Saviour, Klopp. So sometimes it takes away from your game when you're asked to do different things game on game. And maybe because he's not doing that, it shows that he's not world class, that he can't adapt and play left side, right side, and still come up with the numbers. But again, it's only food for thought, really. But for me, the wealth of ability that Man City have, I don't think he'll be missed. If Haaland goes in there and hits the ground running, it'll be hard to deal with.
Yeah, but they must have had to. I don't know whether it's financial reasons. Is that maybe why they had decided? Because you would assume you would keep your big goal scorers.
Yeah.
But
that's it. They got rid of Jesus as well.
Yeah. And then there's that whole financial fair play, I suppose, maybe. Does it even exist? I don't know. But I'm just wondering, is that maybe why that they had to, bring in some money that way? I'm not sure, but I'm still a wee bit surprised. You don't
know what contract he was on.
Yeah.
And again, keeping the English element of it's an English club. You want to keep English players. You don't want to do what Arsenal done a long time ago in Bethlehem, got rid of the English spine of the team and lost a little bit of identity. You need your English core, let's say that, to keep the fan base sort of on side.
Yeah.
But again, just my opinion.
Well, that's it. But your opinion counts. So it does. We'll need to clone you between, leading the academy for the girls, chairman, over 35s, joint manager. You're kind of you're the Roy Evans, isn't it? That's not what we agreed. You're Roy Evans and Gary Max, Gerard Julier, just trying to gradually push you out.
That's it. Well, as I
don't know how you do it.
I can't. you can't do all things, so we just have to share the load and delegate.
Share the love.
No, people are stepping up, so it's great. There's a lot of people in the club that are doing, and again, it's doers that make things work. You can sit in a committee and talk about stuff, but unless you get on the ground and do stuff, that's where you move forward.
Yeah.
So just throwing it back to that, that's there's a lot of good people on the ground doing good things. So, and Gary McConaughey is one of them. All these coaches that are looking after the kids, what they do is invaluable, and you just gotta celebrate them and then give them invest in them as well. So again, part of the process is investing in the coaches, so the coaches will invest in the kids, and ultimately everybody is investing in the club. So all good.
Aye, exciting times ahead. Well, here the next Keepie Uppies extra time, we're going to have to get Sheedy in and discuss what's happened to his goal scoring boots, or does he need to get new boots, or
Yeah, I think he's like the rest of us. He needs a time machine.
just think so.
He needs a time machine. Rolling back the years.
I need to roll back to under 12. That's what I need to roll back to. The peak years.
I peaked at 15. I peaked at 15, so I can sympathise.
Right. Well, here that looks a wrap.
That looks a wrap. Good man. Good to catch up.